Hello, folks. Thank you for coming in tonight. We're very excited to have you here. And we're very excited to have Mary Lambert. So, at the University Bookstore, we have over 400 events a year. So if you're interested in finding out more about those, you can check out our website and various social media platforms. But tonight, we're thrilled to have Mary Lambert, who's a multifaceted artist, a singer, songwriter, musician, and poet. Along with Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, she is the talent behind the incredible Grammy-nominated single, Same Love. Her previous work includes the albums Welcome to the Age of My Body, Bold, and the poetry chapbook 500 Tips for Fat Girls. A mental health advocate and LGBTQ activist, Mary lives in Seattle, Washington. And now, that's about it for me. After everything is said and done, we will ask you to stay seated, and we'll call you row by row. There is going to be a book signing and chance for photographs. But now, I'm going to turn it over to Mary Lambert.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm just going to set up my little shit. Okay. It's been so exciting just touring this book and performing it around. But if any of you have been to my show before, I always incorporate poetry anyway. So this is pretty much the same, just with more sadness. So. I know I did the thing you're not supposed to do, which is read the reviews of your book. And someone had a really great criticism, which was like, her life was she's so sad. I was like, I'm not so sad. So I always like to just offer this is a blanket trigger warning. I'm a walking trigger warning. And I like to talk about things that are uncomfortable because they're often the most important things to talk about. And I think being vulnerable is what is going to change the world. And I am a strong believer in crying publicly. It's good for you. And it's good for everybody else. So, okay, here we go. Does it end? The grieving part. I was 6, you were 9, we had nothing to laugh about. You told your jokes, I sang my sad songs. We were scared, we were tired, we had nothing to laugh at. But see, it's not so bad when you're laughing. It's not so bad when you're smiling. See, it's not so bad when you're laughing. It's not so bad when you're smiling. Sister, I'm forgetting how it was. And maybe that's a blessing, I don't know. My mother found a rabid dog and wanted to hug it, wanted to give it all her glorious honey love, wanted to bathe her children in a 2-parent household, but the dog didn't want kids. The dog would scream it in the hallway at 4 a.m., reminding us as often as possible. Oh, the sheer art of it, how the monster could panic into my body. Sometimes I still hear it in the chambers of my heart, the way some glorious paintings stay with you long after. I am a museum. I must be a museum. No one came over to our house to play. The dog made me write, I will flush the bathroom toilet 75 times. I would have remembered to flush the toilet, but I started blacking out around then, forgetting basic things, started praying that Oprah would save us all. I took snapshots with my memory camera, hoping there would be some kind of justice for this psycho warfare that is more fear than breaking. The teachers at the daycare offered apology eyes and extra sequins for the art project. The day after, the dog chased me around each room because I forgot where my other shoe was. When you are a child and your mind is panicked like a fire alarm at all times, you lose the ability to remember simple things. I haven't lost a personal item in months. Do not laugh when I say this is a victory. Shame is an ocean I swim across. Sometimes I call it drowning. Sometimes I call it Moses. Sometimes I say good morning and sway to its murky dirge. Sometimes I win and cut off its crest with a pink machete. Sometimes I want to fuck it and marry it and kill it all at the same time. Sometimes I spend my whole day apologizing on shame's behalf. Sometimes I think it must be an art form to feel this bad. Sometimes I outrun all of its psychohistory. Other times I repeat the language from my child mouth while beating my head against a wall. But all the time I forgive. See, it's not so bad when you're laughing. It's not so bad when you're smiling. See, it's not so bad when you're laughing. It's not so bad when you're smiling. Sister, how it was, and maybe that's a blessing. I don't know. See, it's not so bad when you're laughing. It's not so bad when you're smiling. I just thought I would start off really fun and lead with the pop songs. It's so good to be home, and I'm really grateful to you all for coming out. I never look at ticket sales, so I was very scared. But you're all here, and it sounds so beautiful in here. and I feel like I'm about to give a sermon. So fittingly, this poem is called Jesus Loves My Crop Top. So frequently at my shows I wear crop tops, and I think it's just if you would have told me 10 years ago that I was going to wear crop tops on stage, I would have punched you in the mouth and gave you a slim fast. And I feel like I've really grown and been able to love and appreciate my body, and I feel like often we tie up body acceptance and body love up in this bow where it's just like, you read a meme and it's like, just love your body. And it's like, if it was that easy, I would have fucking done it already. Like, it's not some sort of light switch that you just turn on, And it's an arduous process, and it's not easy. And, sometimes self-care isn't just going to the spa. It's like doing really difficult work and confronting, your past and your history and maybe your parents, and unlearning stuff and figuring out new tools that work for you. And I think I spent, the better part of the last decade unlearning a lot of stuff and trying to sort of look at my body as this like beautiful machine that can do incredible things rather than, deciding my worth based on aesthetic. And so I'm really grateful for that. So, I'll like drink a martini and I'll be like, how does that feel? And it feels great. 5 more, please. Okay. I wrote this poem in response to, I think it was a couple years ago, an editor on Oprah responded to a letter where they said, when is it acceptable to wear a crop top? And I thought when they were asking that, they were like, March or like December? It's always acceptable. And the response was only if you're thin enough. If you're below a certain size, then that's when you should wear a crop top. And I've said, fuck you, man. And I wrote this poem. 1, I like my belly button. 2, my belly button doesn't interrupt your life. 3, why do you hate so much my belly button? 4, is it maybe because someone was mean to your perfect belly? 5, I'm sorry someone was mean to your perfect belly. 6, you cannot love what you hope your body turns into without loving it for what it is right now. 7, when I was in high school, I obsessively fantasized about taking a knife to my stomach like a bagel slicer. 8, one night I found a website that just had photos of girls with stomach rolls and back rolls, and they were smiling, and I cried because I was uncomfortable and envious of their joy. 9, I used to drink a 5th of tequila and smoke a pack of cigarettes every night. 10, no one criticized my health then. 11, my body is what it is, what it is. 12, the mirror is what it is, what it is. 13, celebrating your body is a revolutionary act. 14, I feel my own self breathe. I feel my organs when I breathe, and when I shower, I feel my skin on my own skin. I know that it is mine. I listen to what my body asks for. I put on a shirt that shows my stomach. I wing my eyeliner up and I ride my bike into the sunset, and I will pick wildflowers with my love, and later I will eat Brussels sprouts and maybe a martini with lots of olives in it, and I will do all this because it makes me feel good and because I am worthy of love and cute clothes and happiness. 15, feeling worthy has taken a very long time. 16, I am my own holy revolution. Welcome to the church of my thunder thighs. I am awake and alive. I've come to wear all of the crop tops that the glittering world has to offer. I've come to dance the shame out of my childhood. I've come to win back my joy. You may not snatch it from me like a purse. 17, I win whether I have a mouthful of pretzels or a mouthful of kale. You have not been granted the privilege to know how I consume my world and what makes me most delight in my skin. I will glorify the shit out of my body. How do you feel? Good? Okay, hold on to that. Before I do this, I was just thinking about recently this concept of like, who wins if I hate myself? Who profits off of me hating myself? Who profits off of me hating my body? Like companies, you know? It just made me sad that there are people that make money off of that feed off of our insecurities and hope that we continue feeling bad for the rest of our lives. I wrote this poem over 10 years ago, and it's still true for me. And I'm really fortunate and feel really lucky that it's become sort of a nightly ritual during tour, because it's something that I need to remind myself. And loving yourself isn't some sort of destination you finally get to. It's an ongoing process. So this poem is called Body Love. I know girls who are trying to fit into the social norm like squeezing into last year's prom dress. I know girls who are low-rise, MAC eyeshadow and binge drinking. I know girls that wonder if they're a disaster and sexy enough to fit in. I know girls who are fleeing, playing Russian roulette with death. It's never easy to accept that our bodies are fallible and flawed. But when do we draw the line? When the knife hits the skin, isn't it the same thing as purging because we're so obsessed with death? Some women just have more guts than others. The funny thing is women like us don't shoot. We swallow pills, still wanting to be beautiful at the morgue, still proceeding to put on makeup, still hoping that the mortician finds us fuckable and attractive. We might as well be buried with our shoes and handbags and scarves. Girls, we flirt with death every time we etch a new tally mark into our skin. I know how to split my wrist to reveal a battlefield too, but the time has come for us to reclaim our bodies. Our bodies deserve more than to be war-torn and collateral, offering this fuckdom as a pathetic means to say, I only know how to exist when I am wanted. Girls like us are hardly ever wanted, you know? We're used up and sad and drunk and perpetually waiting by the phone for someone to pick up and tell us that we did good. But you did good. I know I am because I said I am. I know I am because I said I am. I know I am because I said I am. My body is home. My body is my own. Try this. Take your hands over your bumpy love body naked. Remember the first time you touched someone with the sole purpose of learning all of them. Touch them because the light was pretty on them, and the dust and the sunlight danced the way your heart did. Touch yourself with a purpose. Your body is the most beautiful royal. Fathers and uncles are not claiming your knife anymore, are not your razor. Put the sharpness back. Lay your hands flat and feel the surface of scarred skin. I once touched a tree with charred limbs. The stump was still breathing, but the tops were just ashy remains. I wonder what it's like to come back from that, because sometimes I feel forest fires erupting from my wrists, and the smoke signals send out the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I know I am because I said I am. I know I am because I said I am. I know I am because I said I am. My body is home. My body is my Love your body the way your mother loved your baby feet. And brother, arm wrapping shoulders, remember this is important. You are worth more than who you fuck. You are worth more than a waistline. You are worth more than beer bottles displayed like drunken artifacts. You are worth more than any naked body could proclaim in the shadows, more than a man's whim or your father's mistake. You are no less valuable as a size 16 than a size 4. You are no less valuable as a 32A than a 36C. Your sexiness is defined by concentric circles within your wood. It is wisdom. You are a goddamn tree stump with leaves sprouting out, reborn. I remember the night we had to pull over. The moon was so rich and orange and full of love. We stood holding hands, being welcomely swallowed by the open night, the smell of cucumbers in the air. As I drive by alone tonight, the road reminds me. The stars start whispering, look up. It was just the way it happened. Farmhouses dotted with Christmas lights. The air too cold to breathe now. A sad Christmas song on the radio. My chest caving in on itself. This is what it means to knife and to be knifed by the one that you loved. And to keep driving home anyway.
Just because you left me not good. Just because you loved me not bad. Just because you left me. It was the fire that killed me. You never called me back. When is home gonna feel like home again? Not just a place with the windows and doors ha but the joke's on me. The joke's on me. I'm not bad just because you left me not good. Just because you loved me not bad, bad. I'm not bad just because you left me not good. Just because you loved me not bad. Just because you left me.
How you doing? I thought it would be really silly if I didn't play this song. It's a good cuddling song, and it's pretty gay. I remember I did this show in Austin, and I will not break during a song. Like, I'm in it, and I'm just like zeroed in, and I go to planet Zardon, and I remember it was at South by Southwest. It was like really just kind of crammed in, and people were drinking because it was 1 a.m. And I just remember hearing, as I started playing this song, this girl just goes, "But I'm not gay," like to her friend. And I had to break and laugh, and I said, "You're welcome here."
She says I smell like safety and home. I named both of her eyes forever, and please don't go. I could be your morning sunrise all the time, yeah. This could be good, this could be good. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm, she keeps me warm. What's your middle name? Do you hate your job? Do you fall in love too easily? What's your favorite word? Do you like kissing girls? Can I call you baby? Yeah, yeah. She says the people stare 'cause we look so good together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I can't change even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm, she keeps me warm, she keeps me warm. I'm not crying on Sundays, I'm not crying on Sundays, I'm not crying on Sundays, no. No. My love, my love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. Love is patient, love is kind, love is patient, love is kind.
So I grew up Pentecostal, which is so fun. And later I joined the evangelical church, and I don't usually like put a church on blast, but since we're in Seattle, I went to Mars Hill. I'm not, you said it, not me. So that reference of the line, like, I'm not crying on Sundays, that was because I was 17 and I was going to that church, and I cried every Sunday for a year because I was like, oh, I'm a freak. Like, I'm a freak, I'm going to hell. And I remember this girl who was in youth group, she kind of jerkily came up to me and said, how can you be a Christian? I'm like, girls. And I was like, how can you be a bitch and still consider yourself a Christian, Sandra? Riddle me that. I just have one little thing for you. I've never done this before, but I wanted to try it because it's pretty. And so I live between Massachusetts and here, and my partner and our dog and I drove from Massachusetts to here on an epic road trip, and our dog was or is here running back and forth, and I'm a mouth breather, I had a year of kind of turbulent stuff, and but some really incredible things happened to me, and I feel really lucky to have found my partner, and just to be loved and accepted for exactly who I am, and it's an honor. So I wrote this poem for her. How could I deserve hands to kiss all this goodness
this unwavering beauty. O morning, oh, is it a God? Bless this. I wish it were a whale. Bless it fiercely and blue, so I may see this moment of royal love, the weight of heaven, sweat, real love, the infinite, stupid, ridiculous love, this welcome music in my body village. I only care of dancing if it's you and me at the end of the aisle. You carry the stars, the tourniquet on my charred heart. You, and me, and us, and Lucky. I am a ready and able paradise offering. Listen, time is a fool, my love. I want the now and then and forever ache and ghost. And oh, bless this. Bless this kiss, this life with you, present ocean, holy synthesis of stars, shameless love. Bless you, my forever heart, the selves I was before, the brilliantly obvious now. Bless that hell angel calling to me again. That hell in the evening is part of my history. God, I want to wake up with you every morning and night and moon and kiss. And again after that. Everything is so alive. Bless you. Bless you again. Bless you again. Bless you again. Bless you again. Hands out, stretched, fumbling in the dark so long. I came up empty, I came up tired to you. Bless you, bless you again, bless you again, bless you again. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to stop crying and answer some questions if you want to do that. Okay. I snorted right into the microphone.
So we do have a microphone set up just there. If you have any questions, noodle them out, get up, stand. I'll start us off. So, hi. That was great. Thank you. You have a book.
I did
It's a thing.
Yeah,
it's so exciting.
I forgot to say that.
Shame is an ocean I swim across. Came out in November. We're all very excited about it.
Thank you.
And it is so full of pain and beauty, and it's tough and lovely. You're really riding the vulnerability train hard.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. I mean, I think that, it was hard because I for like the last couple years, I was kind of on like the pop music circuit. And I was really trying to like be, like subversive in what I was writing. And I felt like I was like, stealthily trying to write like vulnerable pop songs that were still catchy, but, like made you feel something. And
But I think deep in my heart, I really wanted to just write something as it was, and as I felt it, and as, just being really, like, confronting what I was really experiencing, and confronting my history, and yeah, so it felt like a very strong shift writing this book, and but I feel this is also the most unattached I've ever been to an outcome with a creative project. And so I think the joy was really in making it and sharing it with people. But I'm not checking the bestseller list. I'm not scared.
There's let's see here. There's a poem where you talk about being interviewed on the red carpet. Let's see here. I've got and you wrote. During the week I performed at the 2014 Grammys, I was promoting my single. An interviewer asked me on live television, without warning or relevance, to talk about my rape and how I overcame it. You say, I will not tell you what I said, I will tell you what I should have said. And it goes on, and it is damning and gorgeous. But this feels kind of like the opposite of that moment, where you are being vulnerable on your own terms.
Exactly.
And you're giving freely, nothing's being demanded of you.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could talk about what you see in the power of vulnerability.
Yeah.
And what makes you choose vulnerability.
Totally. I would love to talk about vulnerability. So I for like the last couple years, I've been referencing this thing, which I call it the sleepover moment, where like you're in elementary school and all of a sudden you're just sharing your deepest secrets with friends. And I started going to therapy when I was 5 years old, so I've been in therapy for 15 years. And I think that's right. Did I say that right? Who knows?
I don't know. I do books, not math.
Math. But I remember going to this slumber party when I was in 3rd grade, and at this point I wanted to be a therapist. That was what I decided. So I started reading case studies on adolescence when I was like 7, and because I was like, first of all, I know, like, I've heard that like the amount of trauma I've experienced is really gonna fuck me up later. I'm gonna nip this in the bud right now, and I'm gonna figure out how to rewire this brain shit. And so I was like experimenting with therapy on my friends. And
like you do.
Like everyone does. And so I remember the slumber party, there was like probably 6 of us, and I grew up in South Everett, and I just began talking about what I had experienced, which was that I was molested by my father. And it turned out, like, through the course of that conversation with all of these like young 7-year-olds, that almost all of them had been violated by men. And we all started crying, and then we all started hugging each other. And I realized how powerful that moment was, of just that moment of like, oh, I'm not a freak, I'm not alone, I'm not unclean, and here we all are. And this moment wouldn't have happened unless I shared that. And I kind of just stuck with that. So I have been referencing this thing for so long, and finally I had a friend that was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I have not experienced that. And I just felt that like really radical vulnerability really encourages other people to confront and heal their own experiences through their own experiences. And that can be a catalyst for someone else analyzing their own brain patterns or analyzing their own past. And I think that encourages connection, because you find an immediate connection. It's very difficult to demonize somebody who is going through something. And if we can sort of all come to the table with, all of our baggage and have this moment of recognition within each other, that connection is so valuable, and that connection encourages empathy. And I think with all of those things combined, that's really what's going to shift the sort of isolated feelings that we often have. And that's what I think will save the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like that moment where personal catharsis turns into activism, right? Because I mean, what are your feelings? Is this personal sharing? Is this activism? Is it both?
I wasn't intended to be activism, but I think that I do believe that the personal is political, the personal is universal, and I think that the success that I've had with the identity that I have and all of these sort of communities that I'm a part of already feels like an anomaly. So I feel like anytime I release something, it just feels like exciting, and like it doesn't get to happen that frequently. And so I have to ask of like myself of like, how can I be a bridge for other people to also have that moment, as I think, yeah.
And also, folks, if you think of any questions, pop on up there. I will keep rolling indefinitely, but there's space for you. Let's see. I was wondering, I'm curious. Oh, do we have there we go. Hello.
Hi.
Does this work? Is this on? Just, I have a beautiful 17-year-old, and I'm just wondering what one piece of advice you would give to yourself as a 17-year-old.
So much. But also, like, 17-year-old me was going to do whatever the fuck I was going to do anyway. So I wouldn't listen to me anyway. But I think for me as someone that creates things, I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was like 14 or 15, and I didn't really take it seriously because I was like, I'm 15, I'm hormonal. Like, I'm not going to go on medication for this. And I know that can be like sort of a touchy subject for people, but I think that I kind of believed that in order to like have a good story or create art, I needed to live this sort of chaotic, self-destructive life and continue to perpetuate the sort of trials that I had already experienced as a child. And so I would encourage myself that like I can make my mental health and my well-being a priority and still create things. But I think if I could like force a nugget down like into myself, it would have been that my self-worth is not contingent upon who I attract. And when I was 17, especially when I was in high school, it was like that's what I lived for. I was just like I need to be loved by everyone, and I need to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I need to like always be with somebody, and that's how I know that I'm worthy. And I mean, I think that is sort of like a lifelong endeavor, but I don't think I ever felt it more than when I was in high school. So if I could like force myself to learn something, that's what it would be.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
So you mentioned that you were on a road trip on your way here, and I have taken some long road trips in my time, and I was wondering if you would tell us a story from your road trip, something cool or interesting or terrible that you encountered, and if it was by any chance the Wizard of Oz Museum, like 15 miles down a weird back road in Kansas, which is my favorite road trip.
Okay, we have to do that. Honey, are you listening? Okay. There were two really fun things that we did. So Paige looked up this like American road trip, like weird things to look out for. And so it was, we saw two things. I think it was the world's largest statue of a booming chicken. And so we saw that. And I was excited because it was very large. And we went into the gas station afterwards, and I went up to the cashier, and I was like, I saw the chicken. And he was like, well, I'm around it every day. I'm just kind of used to it. Don't brag. And then near there, Paige found the world's largest dilly bar, like from Dairy Queen. But it was so weird because it was at it was the world's largest dilly bar that was at a franchise Dairy Queen that wasn't open. And then we were like fixated. We're like, well, we have to go to Dairy Queen. And so we went there, and then we just like drove to a different Dairy Queen and just like ordered so much stuff. They have, I don't know if you know this, but they have hot eats and cool treats. And fun fact. And you know what I didn't order a dilly bar. I feel like that was an upset. But I think the coolest thing that we did was we stayed in Montana, and we actually ended up staying there like 2 extra days and made our road trip longer because we just fell in love with it. And we're staying on this property that had a horse, and the horse's name was Jack, and he was just the sweetest thing. And we just bought apples and carrots and just fed him all day. It was just the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
What was your favorite song that you ever made?
Oh, that's such a great question. Okay, my favorite song that I ever made. I think, so I know this is unfair, but I've been working on my next album for like the last 4 years, and I played some of the songs that's on the album tonight, and there's a couple songs on there that I'm just so incredibly proud of, so it's probably one of those songs. But I would say, okay, in my past catalog, I think Body Love is probably one of my favorite things that I made, just because I think honestly performing it every night just made me like feel stronger in myself and more positive about my body and confident. But in terms of like fun things to play, I really like playing Born Sad. Oh, I haven't released that either. That's on the next album. Gosh, I'm really screwing this up.
And what is your next album called?
The next album is it's just a really fun, I'm just kidding, it's not. It's called Horror Orchid. It's so sad. And it's a real compliment to the book, but I've been so excited about it because I'm producing it, and this is the first time that I have been able to just fully go through this endeavor and not had some straight white guy telling me what to do in a chair that like I can't. I think as an artist, especially like a woman artist, like I feel like I can't help it when there's someone else in the room. I just make myself smaller, and it's not. I feel like it's not anybody's direct fault. It's kind of society's fault and our culture's fault, and I've just grown accustomed to that. So I just kind of I make myself smaller in order to do that. So this is the first time that I am not being small, and I'm just saying exactly what I want to say, and I'm producing it how I want to, and who knows if it will do any good. But that's probably my favorite.
Can I say my favorite song?
Yes, please tell me.
It's, I think, your first album and your first song that's in that album.
Is it
Secrets?
Secrets, yeah. That one is so fun to play live. I love it. It's just like a party, and I just kind of like I get to dance, which is just such a contrast from my set. So I love it. I'm so glad you like it too.
I listen to it every day.
Do you? Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. Thanks for your question.
Hey, Mary, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
I have so much to say. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you with this book. It's out there. You're out there.
Thank you.
Bringing up you're 17, having known you when you were 17, and just seeing the substantial growth and just who you've become. It's just incredible and encouraging, and I love what you've done. I love how you're exposing yourself. You've become a role model to so many people out there.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering how you feel about all this. I think it's great. We need more of you out there. I love that you have Extremes. Your last time Bold, that album, jumpy, great pop songs. And you've got your other side. It's amazing that you're able to do that and expose it and not give a damn what anybody thinks.
Thank you.
It's incredible. And how do you feel about that? Just all this growth and just finally being, from where you're at to now, being a role model and
Yeah.
inspiring others and just being free.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. It's so good to see you. I mean, I feel like it's been a really wild ride, and I feel like I've done my best to stay really aligned and congruent with who I am and having that reflect my sort of creative output. And I think one thing I sort of felt difficult about being on a record label is that it's so focused on what you're marketed as. And I realized that that's kind of like life. Like, we're all trying to figure out what we're going to market ourselves like, and you kind of develop, I don't know, I think we're sort of born with this impulse, these like two core impulses, and that's to be like liked or loved, and the other one is to be understood. And I think we have collectively found that the best way to achieve those things is to become digestible and to sort of push our complexities down, because it makes it harder to understand you, and how could anyone possibly love all parts of me, or how could anyone understand all parts of me, and I kind of just been pursuing my complexity as fearlessly as I possibly can, and just hoping that I can trust fall into the world and to you all, and I feel really cared for in this community, and so I feel so full, and like I'm able to have just uninhibited joy, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for you all to be here, and I feel so supported. I feel just really, really lucky. So thank you.
I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much.
Hi, I was up here earlier with my mom. Yeah. But I have two questions for you. One is a little weird and a little unrelated, but what's your favorite flower?
The deep question.
I love flowers. I love Gerber daisies. I just think they're so cute. And I think orchids are so weird and alien looking, and I think that's so cool. And lilies of the valley, and all of them. That's my answer. I love them all.
Cool, fair. Second question, as an aspiring book writer, singer, songwriter, blah, 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 blah. So, like, how long did it take you to write the book that that people have here tonight? And aside from what you were talking about earlier, like letting yourself be vulnerable, what was the hardest part about it?
Yeah, I think this book, if anybody's read 500 Tips for Fat Girls, you'll notice that there's quite a few poems from that collection in this book. And that was because the editor, Fred Macmillan, just really wanted that to be sort of out publicly, and I got an opportunity to edit it. So those poems are like over 10 years old, and so I edited them over the last 2 years. But I have been working on this manuscript, sort of all those other poems, for probably about the last 4 years, and my favorite process is the editing process, because it's just so fun to just pair things and move things around. So that was sort of a longer process. I feel like I'm missing a part of the question. Did I miss it?
Oh, what was like the hardest part of the process, aside from like letting yourself be vulnerable?
Yeah, I think besides letting myself be vulnerable, because I think that honestly, like talking about my sexual assault and talking about my father, and doing sort of print interviews and TV interviews about it without re-triggering myself, and really being mindful of having some sort of guard, that I can like still protect myself and also be vulnerable and talk about those things. But I think honestly the most difficult thing in terms of the writing, it was like not putting more poems in there, because I would email my editor every day, and I'm like, I got another one, and it was like there's a poem in there that was just like, I was just writing these poems like August, so yeah, I think it was just like
letting go and not being a perfectionist, you know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And we have time for this. One more question.
Perfect.
Hi. So as much as I love your music and listen to it a lot, I do sometimes find myself in a musical rut, but I really also like supporting queer musicians, queer artists. So I was wondering, who are some of your favorite queer musicians that you listen to?
Yes, I love yes. Okay, there's so many. Well, I love Julian Baker, and yeah, you might see her on the next album, and Phoebe Bridgers. There's this rapper I've been listening to. Her name is Ivy Soul. I really like her. Oh God, who else is there? Who else? Tim? Tim, yeah. I don't know if he identifies as queer, but I love him. Tim is my best friend in the whole world. Let's see. Oh shoot, this is what I just get so. There's just so many people. Shamir. Tyler Glenn I really like, and I can't think of any more, but they're all there.
Plus an amazing long list of queer poets.
Yes.
And poets in general you're inspired by.
All in the
Check
back.
out the acknowledgments. It's worth it. The whole thing's worth it. But okay, I think that's us wrapping up. In a little bit, we're going to do signing and photos and all that good stuff. But Mary Lambert, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys so much.